Super fast video for you. I just packed my bag and it had me thinking about, do I need or did I need all this high-end equipment? And I say that, and I still actually have new pads, glove, blocker, skates, and a mask. So all the most expensive stuff I should be getting here within the next couple of weeks. Nevertheless, real quick, real simple, I'm not going to answer that question for you. There's the cliffhanger for you. I can't answer that question for you, but I want to offer some suggestions or food for thought as you decide on what it is you should be getting. There are two things that I don't recommend skimping out on if you have the ability to do so. I would even say do what you can to set as much aside for these two pieces of equipment, one of them being your mask or your helmet. It protects the most important piece of equipment you have. So without question, make sure this is protected well, and that goes for the same if you're buying something for your child playing the game. More importantly than the cost of the mask is the fit of the mask. You get out there and say, hey, I want the X, Y, and Z of this model, but if the fit isn't right, it's not going to protect you as much as maybe a lower end of a different model or even the same brand. So keep that in mind and make sure the fit is correct. Make sure you're also, again, allocating as much as you can for your mask. I will also say that a higher end mask will last you far longer than any other piece of equipment in my experience. You may have to get it repadded, you may have to change some hardware out, you may have to replace some clips, but that's all pretty minor in comparison to the actual cost of the mask itself. For instance, this mask, $2,000. The mask that replaced this, 2014. And now, yes, I haven't skated as much the last number of years, but I used this mask for 14 years. Yes, had it repadded, but 14 years I used this mask before I ever really needed to, and truly I didn't even need to. I just wanted to get a new mask at that point. So keep that in mind. The other one that I would recommend, not necessarily going the highest end, but spending up on, is going to be your skates. I would tell you that this is one of those things that connects you to the ice, and you will notice the difference in a appropriate higher end pair of skates. And I say appropriate because you may not need the highest end pair, but I will say that you will be better off with a higher end. I don't really believe there's a need to have so many skates across the lines. I don't know what's out there now because it's not the same, I'm sure, but when I was in the pro shops, you had, like 6 or 7 different skates from the highest end to the lowest end. And a lot of times, obviously, yes, I would be able to answer the questions, and yes, it may not be drastic differences from one to the other, but I would never really like to see somebody go below the low end of the high-end skates. A little confusing, but when you look at the features and what goes down the line, what trickles down, and obviously how it changes year to year, I always recommend getting from that low end of the high-end skates up, depending on the individual. Now, the difference is not so much how often you play, but how it's going to fit the foot. And ultimately, too stiff could be a negative for somebody that might need to develop foot strength and tendon strength and stability within that foot to become a better skater, especially at the younger ages. But then you also have to factor in how much you're playing and the wear and tear you might put on the skate. The last thing I'll say in terms of the levels of equipment, I will find and will tell you, and then yes, I use all higher end stuff even today, playing less often than I used to, that yes, of course, you're going to be more protected, but generally speaking, it fits better, it moves with you better, it lasts longer. So that is always going to be my reason why I'll be happy to spend up on equipment, as long as I can anyway. So keep that in mind when you're looking at it, because I've seen people go into a store, buy that lower end or even mid-range piece of equipment, and then within 6 months they're coming back and buying the next step up, and sometimes even the next step up from that 6 months to a year later. So they end up with 3 pieces of equipment in the same time frame they might have been able to have one, and end up spending more than if it would have bought the high end from the first place. So that's my 2 cents on it. Hopefully it helps you out. If you want to share your opinion, love to hear it. Put it down below in the comments. Like, comment, share, subscribe if you like this content. I am waiting on a whole bunch of stuff that I'm really excited to show you guys. I want to do unboxings and talk about why I got what I got, and share a little bit about it. I also have to talk about obviously the break-in process on my chest protector, the pants, a few other things that I've been using now for a while that I shared in the past. But yeah, appreciate you guys spending a few minutes with me. Again, if this helps you out, please like, comment, share, subscribe. But if there's anything else you'd like to see me or hear me talk about, please do so. Have a great one.